It is 9:51 a.m. and I want to go over a trade with SYXX, and I think I'm going through some kind of a breakthrough. I don't know how to really explain it, but I think I did much better trading in general, and I even held this setup for a longer period of time to give it that opportunity to really pay off if it was going to work. SYXX had another gap down, and this was a pretty big gap down. As you can see right now, it's near the highs of today, and it's down 34%, so it was much lower at the market open, and I was not very profitable trading UONE's gap down, but that was a listed stock. RMSL was pretty profitable, and I did trade SYXX, and I want to see if it can continue to uptrend over a longer period of time, or if maybe this is going to be like a mini, maybe lower high or something like that. I'm not extremely sure, but I did get in the setup at 933, 2,500 shares at 267, and that was right here in the wick. It really looked like it was going to make a move towards the upside right here and then break the 27 level and maybe even try to get to this 3 cent level and make a really crazy move. And it looks like that big seller got out of the way. It was a big, I think a 200K seller at 277. Nice. All right, looks like this thing might try to uptrend some more, at least with a spread. So again, I got in here, and ultimately it wasn't really the best part. It was like a bit of a chase perhaps, but it looked like it was gonna really do it. And then I had to sit through this downtrending price action, and I was going to cut the trade if it was gonna break under VWAP. That was my risk level, and I actually stuck to that. At 942, I did sell not completely half of my position, but pretty close. I did sell 1,000 of those 2,500 shares at 263, which was right here, for a slight loss because I thought, maybe it does this uptrend, it gets up to here, then it downtrends, and now we're up right here just a little bit, and it's just gonna be like a lower high off of this level, and then it's gonna bottom and then actually get under VWAP. That was again my idea that maybe the price action wasn't really that good since I got in right here. It's uptrending a little bit. I can get out about half of my position for about break even, a slight loss. And if it doesn't work out because of the price action, it's just not going to work out here. I'm going to cut the other piece of the position if it breaks under VWAP, and then I won't have to cut my entire size under VWAP for a loss. And I think that was pretty good. I continued to hold on to the setup. It did actually break the level of 27, and I was just, sitting through this price action. And then it got to a point where I just didn't like being in the setup anymore. It just felt really uneasy. But as you can see right now, it's at 29, so that's pretty cool. I did sell at 951 the last portion of my trade, which is more than half, at 277, and I just had this limit sell at what I originally got in. I just kind of feel anxious if maybe I want to get out of a position, and I don't want to play around with the numbers. I'm just going to put something, general, but I don't want it to put like maybe a really low limit price and then it actually jumps and like, sells my shares at a price that low. Let's see how it does here. Ah, wow, it broke through. That's really nice. Yeah, maybe next time I'll be able to hold on to the setup better, but essentially I got out at 951, 277, which was right here. I must have placed the order here, but no, yeah, I did get out right here at 277. Well, I didn't notice that. I got out of the setup right before it started to uptrend some more. That's pretty cool. Not in a bad way. It just shows how close I was to holding on to the next move towards the upside. It ended up uptrending here and had a little dip, and then it continued the uptrend. That's pretty cool. Yeah, maybe next time I can have better patience. Because it never broke my risk level of VWAP. That's pretty cool. I don't think I'm up that much. Probably a small amount. And I had a really wide risk level. I thought worst case scenario. I'm in it right here, especially 3 minutes after the market opened. I thought maybe worst case scenario, I'm in it right here, breaks VWAP, big panic, and I'm out at 20, right, or 2 cents. and that would have been a roughly $20 to $25 loss. And just like that, it sold to 28. All right, I'll make an update later. Although I do need to catch up with a bunch of other things. And yeah, I guess we'll take a look at this in the future and see what SYSX does. Okay, it is 9:08 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I just had one trade with SYSX and I just made a whopping, it seems like $1.02 trading it. And the only thing I think I would have done differently had I have had this trade again is that when it was starting to work and we broke past this 27 level and it was starting the uptrend, you know, or at least right here, it just had a move as high as this 287 and then it had like a little bit of a dip. I could have sold maybe half of my position here, so half of my winning position, and then I could have potentially sold the other half for much more. Again, I did buy at 933 right here on the wick. Maybe I could have been more patient with the entry, but at the same time, if this thing were to have broken it right then and there, I would have been pretty salty. But I think it was a good attempt for what it was. I was in it right here, and then I cut half of my position right here. And I technically sold in two pieces, but maybe I could have sold my winning position once the setup was really working in two pieces. I don't mind cutting half of my position here because this thing could have very well have been a lower high off of here than downtrending. And as for the other ones, there wasn't really anything that I was interested in. Just nothing really too ideal. RMSO had like a really sketchy uptrend up here, then it just sold off. GESI, I was watching for a potential break past 5, even though the volume isn't that nice. It didn't really do it, so there was no setup there. I wasn't too interested in GHMP. Let me actually just zoom this in so it's properly just showing today. And IND did do a very nice move today. I was watching it, but there wasn't really anything that I was too interested in trading. And by the time I started to see it, it was around right here, I believe, after it just had a first move, a first dip, which would have been kind of sketchy for me to consider in the first place. And then I would have thought, you know, maybe the next one isn't going to be as nice. And that turned out to be the case. That's really about it. Just one trade there, but I think I learned a lot. At least, you know, I want to say that because I just made one whopping dollar. But in theory, what I learned with that trade is something that I can apply in the future with a much larger position size, God willing.